I'm proud of the team. Great win against a really good team. Temple, they've lost the last two, but that was against Houston. Lost a tough one at SMU, and then to come here, we knew they were going to be strong. They did not have White. When I saw him not dressed out, I know that's when you lose one of your main defensive guys, it takes away from who you are, but those guys still battled enough, and I'm just glad we came out with the victory.
Hey, Coach, how do you defend a team that's shooting that well, regardless of what you were doing, and they just hit – at one point they were shooting 6% from the field and 6% from three, and even covered they was shooting shots. So how do you defend against that?
Man, just continue to contest every shot. If they make them, then they make them. You know, Khalif Battle, Zach Hicks, and Damian Dunn are three of the best shooters in our conference, in the country, I can say. Guarded or unguarded, you know, contested or uncontested. So, you know, when Battle gets going, I've been watching him all year. He's done it every single game. He didn't have a great game against us at Temple. That was probably his worst game. But, you know, when you know they're shooting high, you just got to continue to just, you know, make them take contested shots. And if they make them, they make them.
Thoughts on DeAndre tonight?
Wonderful. His best overall game, but because he could have came out in the second half and tried to go for 40 points. He could have. He led us in points. He only took 2 shots in the second half, which was a big 3 that he made in the corner. Led us in rebounds, led us in assists. Just a beautiful game because he was very selfless in the second half by trying to create things for other guys.
Just to follow up on that, they cut the lead to 6, and then at one point I think DeAndre scored or assisted on 11 straight points for you guys to kind of close it out. Has that, you know, that, I don't know, you've talked about Kendrick's closer mentality, but the fact that he's been through so much here at Memphis on the court, do you see that playing out now? Does he seem like a more mature player on the court in moments like that?
Absolutely, and that's who DeAndre has always been. But he's also sacrificed playing with pros. You know, the last couple of years he's played with some pretty good players, so he didn't have to be the closer. And this year he and Kendrick are both, to me, equally the closers on the team. If you go to DeAndre, you feel good. You go to Kendrick, you feel good. So, yeah, he's more comfortable, but he's waited his turn, and he's deserving what he's getting right now.
Penny, any doubt in your mind that you have the best lead duo in the conference?
I don't have any doubt in my mind. That's no disrespect to anyone. I really believe in Kendrick. I believe in DeAndre, and I definitely have an argument.
Where would you be since Malcolm went down with his injury without Elijah McCadden? It just feels like whenever there's a loose ball to be gotten, he's there, a offensive stick back, a big steal. Like, it just feels like he's kind of always in the right place at the right time, especially since Malcolm went down.
Yeah, that's who Elijah is. You know, he's gotten more comfortable with the group. He's always been a quiet guy, but he goes about his business out on the floor. And when we have him on the floor, we feel very comfortable because he's going to do a lot for us. Match up 1 through 5, get loose balls, get big offensive rebounds when we need it, make a play. You know, he's playing really well.
Coach, what's it been like to have these guys motivated for a game like this where it's right here?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Where the game is like this, where the team's record is not that great, but these guys play hard. What's it been like to keep these guys motivated for games like this?
Well, you know what? Up until 3 games ago, Temple was second in our league, and then they lost to Houston, SMU, and us. So that's how quick it can go. And again, they were without one starter, but they still had their scores. So we knew that Aaron McKee, who was a great coach, was going to have those guys ready regardless of who was out there. So that's what motivated us to understand that we don't want to have any more hiccups at home and that we have to finish out strong.
It's Megan. Is there a sense, I don't even remember when DeAndre last got a technical. Do you get a sense that he has locked in on the urgency of this can't lose moment as well?
Yes, I think he has. I mean, he's kind of changed everything up. You know, his workout habits, watching film, what he reacts to in the games, how he approaches the referees. He's starting to be more conscious of all those things.
And is he going to, I mean, obviously he's got a few games left here and hopefully an NCAA tournament run. But you're honoring, you know, Ronnie Robinson and great Tigers. Is he going to go down as one of the really splendid Tigers who's played?
He should. He should. And we've had some great Tigers here, but you can put DeAndre up there with the best of them when it comes to numbers, when it comes to productivity, when it comes to being a total team guy.
Penny, when a guy like Kendrick Davis looks like he's in his own head in the first half, what do you tell someone like that at halftime for him to flip that switch like he did today?
I told him just to trust the work. When you're trusting your work, you put enough work in, don't stress. And it seems like, because he works so hard, when he starts to miss shots that he knows he can make, he's very tough on himself. He gets down. At that point, it's not about team, it's about you. So I say exclude you and be more about team. He's gonna always be okay because his work that he puts in, he's gonna overcome. We gotta stay in tune with the team, and that's all I told him.
Mid-February now, early Sunday game. Are you going to go look and see what the other so-called bubble teams have done later today and all that? And do you encourage your kids to do it or not do it, or?
I don't really look at a lot of that. Obviously, when you watch games now, Joe Lenardi's on some of these telecasts, and they see the first four out, last four in, and all of that. I think if we just win, it just takes care of itself because it doesn't matter what we're looking at on TV. If we're not winning, then we're not going to be there. So we just have to continue to win. So I focus more on the team than I do about the other bubble teams.
But it feels like as long as Kendrick and DeAndre go off, if you get one or two guys to support that, you guys are in good shape. Today, talked about Elijah, and then Jaden felt like give you guys a really good boost too. What do you think of his performance?
Yeah, Jaden, I'm very proud of him because this is the most minutes he's played in a long time, maybe ever. And he came out there and gave us 12 big points. He's never going to do anything to hurt us. Not going to take bad shots. He's going to play defense. He's going to communicate, and he's going to be all about the team. He and Elijah are identical when it comes to just want to do whatever it takes to win, and both of those guys had a great game.
You were talking about the bubble stuff. I'm curious, going back to DeAndre, the fact that, this is a veteran team, but a lot of these guys have not successfully gotten to the NCAA tournament before. Do you sense the fact that he went through it when a couple of these other guys went through it, is that helping you? Do you guys talk about that at all? I know before the season you talked about trying to get guys like Kendrick to the tournament, but is it coming up now?
Yeah, it is. And DeAndre is a guy that was like, those guys. He was wanted to, get a taste of it. The first year was the NIT. And then, we come back last year. He knows that, and these guys know the further we go, the more it helps their efforts moving forward professionally. And it's desperation and wanting to do something special together. And they're just locking in on it. And we know that every game counts. And the motivation is making it there. And DeAndre is one of the guys that's saying, hey, it's a great feeling, and we have to do whatever it takes to get back there because you never know what can happen once you get in.
You got your 25 games in. You got a handful of games left down the stretch here. Looking back on the season you've had to this point, regardless of outcome, what was if you had to pick one game that was the most important game for you guys this season, whether it was win or lose, what would you?
I think at South Florida so far this year. Because if you lose that game, you're in trouble. Mm-hmm. I think that's at South Florida. I mean, we lost to Tulane at home. You couldn't go back-to-back losses, but at South Florida would have been a loss that at that point that would have really hurt us. And
then just an update on Alex or Malcolm. Do you expect to have him back?
Alex is doing much better than Malcolm. Malcolm's a little slower on his rehab. We're supporting both of those guys. Might see Alex back a little earlier than Malcolm.